sixth graders, if you're working at home, you'll be taking the genre assessment at home. At school, we were looking at actual physical books, and I've done the best to recreate this on paper. So for this assessment, you're going to have two tabs open. You are going to open the genre assessment form that looks like this, and you're going to open the actual book summaries that look like this. So on here, this is where you are going to write your answers next to the title. So you're going to read about Nori Ryan's song here, and then you are going to write which genre you think it is here and give your reason here. After you're done, you can cross them off because each genre you can see will only be used once. Let's go ahead and highlight that for ourselves. So it will be a guessing game. Don't just leave the last genre to the last book. Make sure it matches. Otherwise, you might have, if it doesn't match, you'll have to go back and readjust. You will use just biography, autobiography, or memoir. You won't use all three, and you will use mystery or adventure. So 8 books, 8 answers, and 8 choices to choose from. You are welcome once you've done one. Maybe you've done a memoir. You are welcome to highlight that or cross it off to show that that one's done. However you mark for yourself that that one's done, so you don't end up reusing one accidentally. Let's go ahead and see how you're going to flip back and forth between the summaries and the chart. We're going to do a sample together. The sample is going to be on a book we know pretty well. Most of us know, at least from the book or the movie, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I can look at the author just in case that gives me a little bit of a hint. And then you're going to read the summary. All of this that gives an overview of the book. And you're going to look at the cover, because that might give you some clues. And then if there's an excerpt from the book like there is here, you can read it. This excerpt, you might have to increase the font. It's about the putter outer, where he clicks a thing like a cigarette lighter and it puts out the street lights. And so that's a scene from one of the first parts of the book. When we read this book, we know that it says, it sounds realistic fiction for here. And then we get to here and it says Harry Potter is a wizard and he's going to go to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So that right there starts to tell us it's a fantasy. But don't get confused because it says an incredible adventure. Remember, the adventure has to be realistic for it to be labeled as adventure. Most sci-fi or fantasy is adventure or mystery. So don't let that throw you off. Don't just look for the first word like adventure and decide it's adventure. Look for all the best clues and then decide, which one of these is it going to be? Because it mentions wizards, I'm going to say that it's a fantasy. So I'm going to pretend I'm just scrolling down because this is a sample. I'm going to flip to my answer sheet. So I'm going to write the title of the book, which I already did for you. So we're just going to match the title of the book to make sure you're doing the right one. Write the genre, which is fantasy. Don't misspell it. Don't add other things to it. You don't want to miss points because you're changing up the genre. And then give a reason in complete sentences from the text. So it doesn't have to be exact words, but you could say something like Harry, was using something called a putter outer, which turned the street lights off. The only way that could happen is if it was magic, and magic is part of fantasy. Or I use the part that it says that Henry is a wizard and made up stories with magic in them, and characters like wizards are fantasy. So I'm using some words from my notes, and I'm using my words from the summary up here where it says Henry is a wizard. It straight up tells us. So notice how I'm using complete sentences with ideas from the text and ideas from my notes or what I know about fantasy to write that reason. In order to get full credit, each question's worth 2 points. So one for getting the genre correct and one for getting a reasonable reason, one that I can understand that you would think by reading this summary. All right, again, you're going to work from here. This was just a sample. You're going to record your answers here. I don't care which order you do them. And this is the books or the book summaries you're going to be working from. Notice there are 8. Scrolling down again, any order that you want to go through them is fine. Good luck on this, and I look forward to reading your best work. This is an assessment, which means test, so no outside help from your parents or internet or anything else. Thank you and good luck.